The first thing I learned today is that the business school is not on the mountain. So Arcteryx, we're always looking up at the mountains, so I learned something today. So I'm gonna just kind of walk you through a little bit about who we are and our brand and kind of where we've come from and kind of where we're going. And it's exciting for us. We're a bit of a mysterious company. You see a lot of our images are a bit ominous and dangerous. But you know, we're good people, and we're proud to call BC home. So this is where we're from. We're very, very proud of it. It is our muse. We are a premium outdoor and technical apparel and equipment company, and we pride ourselves in having the accessibility to this beautiful landscape. So when our designers have an idea, the beautiful thing about our company is in our design center, it's not just a bunch of cubicles. One thing I've known, and my wife's a designer, is you don't put designers and creative people inside cubicles. So that should be a number one in one of the business courses here. Don't put creative people in cubicles. They can actually create a sample that is seam taped and ready to go within about an hour. And then they'll be in the backcountry testing it in another hour from there. So that is a big part of who we are. It was already said that we started in the basement of Dave Lane's house in Kitsilano. He was making harnesses and then trying to figure out how he could sneak them down to the United States and sell them. So all of our concepts and ideas and problems that we're trying to solve, the access to the outdoors, the mountains, the water, and actually more and more recently in city environments is important to us. So a bit of our DNA, you know, it's important that everything we do, the craftsmanship and performance is it's crucial. So everything we design has, it's trying to solve for a problem. And you can draw an item, whether it's on a pad of paper or you can put it into a computer, but you actually need to know how it comes from 2D to 3D. So all of our designers and our developers, they need to know how to sew. They need to know how things get put together. They need to know how they're going to move on your body when you're in the mountains and you're hunkered down because the weather's really, really crappy. So it's important for us. This craftsmanship piece, which is a big cornerstone for us, you know, there's a real functional reason for it. We also pride ourselves on the design side is we don't chase trends. So we want timeless design. We want that Alpha SV jacket that you bought in 2001 to last you for 25 years. That's our commitment to sustainability. We're not a company that speaks to being super green. We do our best. We always do good as best we can. But our commitment to sustainability is building stuff that lasts a very, very long time and stays out of the landfill. We'll repair it. We'll clean it for you. In that jacket that you bought in 2001 will look as good and as timeless in 2020. That's our commitment. From a design, construction, and materials standpoint, we always use the best. So we aren't necessarily going to be the lightest product in the marketplace, but we're going to be the one that combines lightweight with durability with functional superiority. So it's exciting to hear that the local universities around here are not only having very, very thriving design programs, but also materials development. You know, we have a lot of nerdy people in North Vancouver who like organic and non-organic chemistry, and you know, that space changes almost every day. It's exciting, and I encourage the local universities to continue to invest in materials and textile development because it's a big part of us. We need to choose the right material first and then figure out how we put it together. At the end of the day, when the chips are down, whether you're in the outdoors and you're backcountry skiing, you're climbing, the gear has it's a no-fail task. You have to not even worry about your gear is going to fail on you. So whether that's a jacket, obviously a harness, super important that doesn't fail. And you'll hear a little bit about me too. We do a nice little military business, and we partner with the most high-end special forces units around the world. And as you can imagine, the term no-fail task is very, very real for them. So we started in 1989 in Dave Lane's basement in Kitsilano with this amazing 70s disco logo. We were called Rocksolid Manufacturing. Obviously, we were more focused on the design of the harness than we are on the logo, but as we were trying to figure out how we could sneak product into the United States, we found out that our friends at the North Face owned this term in the U.S., so very quickly we had to come up with a new name. So in 1991, we came up with Arcteryx, and it's pretty funny. Even my brother, I ask him on the phone who I work for, and he says it differently every time I talk to him. So really look more at the logo. It's the fossil of the Arcteryx lithographica, and it speaks to the concept of evolution. And so for us, we're always trying to push the envelope. So one of our mantras is evolution in action in everything that we do. And so our logo and our name is extremely fitting. So we're born here. Our heart and soul is here. Every single product that we design comes out of our design center in North Vancouver. Again, we can make a prototype and a sample right there on the design floor, and then you hop in the car and drive 20 minutes to Burnaby, and you can go in our manufacturing facility and then continue to dial it in and frankly figure out if you can make it. It's enough to make one sample and prototype, but you need to know if you can actually make 3,000, and then can you do it with the same product quality that we expect. We also take that same process globally, so if we don't make it here in BC, we understand the process and all the steps it takes to make an item so that when we work with our vendor partners overseas, they know exactly that the Alpha AR jacket takes 4 hours and 32 minutes, and that there's 52 steps, and there's this many stitches per inch. So when you send us a bill back for a very different amount because you're telling us it takes a little bit longer on the line, we can kind of call BS on that. So it's nice. It's a way for us to control our quality around the world. So we started as a harness company and trying to figure out how we can make a harness that fit better, was more comfortable, but much more lighter weight. From there, we learned a lot about materials. We learned a lot about thermal molding and how we kind of would bend materials and use different processes of heat and pressure and lamination to create items that could be a little bit lighter weight, but you use different materials to form around your body parts. So then we morphed into backpacking and packs and other climbing pieces. And then we started to kick around the idea of outerwear and apparel. And the founders of the company were basically saying that what was available in the marketplace was not that great, and so we thought we could build a better mousetrap. And that's a big mantra and challenge for us each and every day. Now, we thought it was going to be pretty quick to launch outerwear, but it ended up taking a couple years. And then when we first launched it, we came out with the Alpha SV jacket, and we had this crazy watertight zipper concept. Now, you can pretty much see this type of a zipper from every technical apparel manufacturer today, but we created it. And it's not only the concept of putting a film on the outside of the zipper to keep the water out, but it's also the way that you actually insert it and put it into the garment. So this all started here in Vancouver. From there, we learned more about lamination. So if when you're talking about waterproof jackets, if you don't poke holes in the waterproof fabric, that's a good thing. So we try and glue and adhese as many things together as long as it's as strong as a stitch. And then when we do stitch things together, we try to make those seams as small as possible so that they're much more comfortable against your skin. It's lighter weight, allows you to have better patterning. And then also, if it's a waterproof garment, on top of this seam, you have to put a piece of tape, a waterproof piece of tape, so it doesn't leak. Well, again, if you have a much, much thinner piece of tape, it'll be more breathable and more lightweight. So we continue to push the envelope there. In 2003, the U.S. Marine Corps came to us, and actually the outdoor industry in general, and said, we need a better backpack to send our troops. We need something that's going to be durable and carry the load. And, the outdoor industry probably has some good insight. So we were the lucky winners of that contract. And that launched us into the LEAF market. Now, LEAF stands for Law Enforcement in Armed Forces. The majority of our business is done with Special Forces units and special paramilitary units around the world. But, we're proud to say there's over 240,000 in these packs now across the globe. In 2007, we have a real tight partnership with Gore. They're really the leading textile waterproof breathable maker in the world, and we continue to work with them on creating new waterproof breathable solutions. They do make the most waterproof and durable solution out there. You can find a lot of waterproof solutions out there, but this is the one that's going to last a long time. So they launched a new Proshow, which kind of replaced their old high breathability piece in 2007. In 2009, we continued to push the envelope on climbing harnesses and launched something called Warp Strength technology. That's the WST. There it was basically kind of taking a piece of webbing and then actually splitting it apart. And so the piece of webbing that goes down through the leg loops is all one piece of webbing, but you can split it apart to get more surface area for comfort, but not lose anything on the strength. So we launched the Valence collection, and again, lots of the materials that we use in our outdoor line, the construction techniques. We make every single piece of Valence here in Vancouver, and it's a nice little growing business for us. Just last year, we launched Footwear, and this one is we think we're really on to something here, and it's going to be a journey. But we've taken again our expertise in materials and synthetic materials. You won't find very many stitches in this piece. You'll find all kinds of synthetic materials that are fused and thermal molded together to make a nice lightweight but durable shoe. We have what we call adaptive fit, which is that kind of sock inside of a shoe concept. And this is a journey, this is a learning for us, but again, we think that we're building a better mousetrap. From a global perspective, we have a really nice spread, and it allows us to weather a lot of storms. So currencies and economic downturns and unfortunately crises. So we do 45% of our business in the Americas, but primarily in the U.S. and Canada. We do 35% of our business in EMEA, and then the remaining 20% in Asia Pacific. Not a lot of companies that we compete against have that portfolio. You can find us in 42 different countries. We have e-commerce sites in 18 different countries, and I think it speaks to a lot that our brand resonates with the global consumer. I think people more and more appreciate quality and appreciate spending money, the hard-earned money, on something that's going to last a real long time. So our commitment to not only Canada but BC is we're gonna actually quadruple the size of our facility here in 2016. We're going to move a little further down the road to New West, but we're actually going to, we just signed a new lease, a multi-year lease, and again, not a lot of companies globally are doing that, especially here in BC. So that'll be online sometime in probably Q2. We're investing in lean manufacturing. So that's, again, I was speaking with the Quantland folks around not only are we going to continue to manufacture here, but we need to do it more efficiently, but also with a high degree of quality. So lean manufacturing is going to be a big part in that facility there. And then, the local talent piece, and it's extremely important, and it's everything that we do. It's not only in the design, the development side, it's on the retail side, it's on the financial side. We rely heavily on local IT companies. I mean, that's another hub here in BC that's, I think, quite strong and healthy is IT. We have a system called TAS, which stands for the Arcteryx system that we built from the ground up. And TAS is nice, but it's time probably for us to move on and build something that's more scalable and dependable. So IT, design and development, finance, everything, we're based here. This is where we're at. We have over 800 employees here in the Lower Mainland, and that's growing by 40-ish per year in head office. And then when we put a big factory online, we probably need about another 250 employees there. So it's a challenge, a real challenge for us. So I look forward to that discussion. So anyways, thank you very much.